Yo, what's up, guys? So, objection handling, the videos I've been posting, I was going to upload the Solidify today with me and Connor. Can't find it. So, I'm just going to improvise and just walk you guys through it. Those who haven't seen it, the videos go on to my recent activity. You can check the videos. But just to recap what we've been going over, objection handling. Connor playing the role of a CEO. The objection is doesn't handle transportation. Probably the most common objection I've gotten throughout my 10 years from executive level, right? So, Solidify, where we ended off was okay, Connor. I was able to let them know or let Connor know that I did a little homework. I spoke with Bob, who he originally told me to go meet with, uncover some challenges that were not only, impacting the company, are impacting from a micro level, meaning Bob was the shipping transportation director. It was impacting Bob from a manual process standpoint, but it was also losing the company money because sales didn't have access to get quotes, and they were having to wait on Bob, and Bob was doing a bunch of stuff on that end. So he took the meeting, and now Solidify, right? So when I say Solidify is okay. Yes, they could take your meeting, but you want to make sure that person is at least open-minded to, if you can, line up everything to a T, obviously save them money. Putting that aside, though, again, going back to line up everything to a T, help them out operationally. Is there any other reason why they wouldn't make that switch over? And I know it gets a little funky when we're in transportation, because a lot of times most people in our industry are I don't want to say transactional, but they don't look at things from an all-in approach. Just to give you a little background, that's all I know, right? I think a lot of times people are like, why would you even meet with the CEO? Well, that's what we were taught. Shout out to my worldwide people, those who know. And it works, right? That's why we were able to separate ourselves from the masses. I mean, and again, we weren't selling crazy massive deals, right? It was, we were going around small to medium sized companies, average company that was shipping about 100 grand a year. But anyway, so these are objections that I would get. Common objection, we don't handle that. So the Solidify, though, let's walk you through it. Okay, takes the meeting. Great, cool. What I've used since day one, obviously now we have like Zoom info and stuff like that. We didn't have that back then, 2014, but let's just go through it. So it's like, okay, cool. So you said 10 o'clock. Awesome. I didn't even send calendar invites. I was like, so I would say is, hey, Connor, you got a pen on you? Right. Real quick. Let me give you my contact information. Again, my name's Michael, last name Nemi, N as in Nancy, E as in Edward, M as in Mary, E as in Edward. Best way to reach me is going to be my cell phone. 111-111. Got that. Cool. Hey, before I let you go, I wanted to do a little homework on my end before we meet. Just curious, when you're paying, writing the check for your domestic freight bills, usually, let's just say monthly, what's a typical month spend for you guys out there? Okay, say answers. Great. Can you make a quick note for me and jot down to have your accounts payable or whoever handles your billing when it comes into the freight bills to pull the most recent 2 to 4 weeks of invoices? That way, when we get into the meeting, I can show you exactly where I can help you out at. Every single time that is how I have done. Every single time that is how I've done it throughout my entire. Obviously, I switched it up a little bit, but it follows the same pattern right there when the invoicing thing. It's a game changer. It not only expedites the process from their standpoint, you can help them out better, but it also, you're not wasting time on your end too. So let's go on that objection though. It's a common one. Well, just give us your best rate, right? Even at an executive level, or we don't give out rates. Well, listen, I'm not trying to undercut you. Undercut's a big one. I'm not trying to undercut you. Let's put the rates aside. That's not even the biggest issue. The reason why I want to look at those invoices is, again, there's a lot of information in there, such as, accessorial charges, just a lot of stuff that probably you don't even really know. One, you might be getting charged for, or two, you don't really care about, right? But it's just, the reason why I need them is, one, it's going to clarify volume, right? Everything's based on a volume standpoint. And two, it's just, again, going to give me that information I need to price out your specific pricing for what your specific needs are, right? So again, I'm assuming that wouldn't be a problem for you guys to pull them. More times than not, it's not, right? Just nobody ever, again, most logistics people, one, aren't calling any executive leadership, and two, aren't asking for invoices. It's more or less on a rate by rate play. So once you get that, awesome. Cool. Before I let you go, Connor, I don't want to trust me. I'm not going to hard close you. I'm not going to try to hard close you on the phone call, but I am mindful of your time as well as my own. If we can, if we could save you, obviously, if we could save you money, but putting that aside, if we can line up everything to a T, help you out on the operational side of things, or in this case, if we can obviously save you money, but give access to your salespeople to be able to get instant access for quotes, so you're not losing sales. Clean up or eliminate the manual process that Bob's having to do from going on multiple platforms, quoting, tracking, shipping, and all that stuff. Is there any reason why you wouldn't make a change over to Global Trans? And again, you're making it known, you're not hard closing them, but you are mindful of your time, and you should be mindful of yourself. You're making sure that at least at the bare minimum, one, they're into they're into the meeting, right? At least their mind's there. Yeah, cool. Usually it goes, hey, if you can save us money, I don't see why not, but we'll see. Cool, as long as you get that. But a lot of times I do that because sometimes you uncover all their objections. You start uncovering stuff like, it happens like they're friends with their freight rep, or their family member works for the 3PL that they use. Hey, business is business, but again, I'd rather know that going into it versus not, right? Getting hit with that end to end, right? Or they just might say, hey, listen, I'm just taking the meeting I appreciate you calling me. It sounds compelling. I was in your shoes one time. I wanted to eat some crow. That's why I'm taking your meeting. And that's kind of like where you could say, okay, cool, I could appreciate that. Listen, let's just table this one. But at least you're just setting it up you're setting expectations for the next meeting, right? You're setting expectations for that meeting where you sit down, they have invoices, they at least have it in their head that you said, hey, this is what I'm looking to do. I'm looking to see if I can save you money, help you clean up that the manual processes that Bob's doing, as well as give your team access to our sales team access to quotes, so you're not losing sales. If that makes sense, you agreed. Shouldn't be a reason why we don't move forward. So this is when you get an objection. When you get that objection, say they don't want to go forward, or whatever it may be, you have a little bit more ammo in your gun, right? You could say it was like, okay, well, maybe I missed something, but I'll get into that way later. But again, objection handling, learn it. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. If your process, if you work for a company that really doesn't have all the bells and whistles to offer a one-stop shop type deal, totally understand. But it never hurts to reach out to an executive, especially on most accounts that, again, they don't have massive amounts of people. At the end of the day, the CEO is making the call regardless. And I'll dead honest, most CEOs or executive level, even in huge companies that I've reached out to, they're the coolest ones. And they're not hanging up on you. They might not take your meeting or whatnot, but it's the ones that usually have a little bit of power, that the ones that are assholes that think that they run the world, right? It's an ego thing. And don't get me wrong, everybody has an ego at some point. Doesn't matter what side of the executive level or user level, whatever. But again, if you're gonna look at from a strategic standpoint, I built my career on literally meeting with executive leadership. I've sold over $40 million worth of business. 91% of my meetings are at executive level. And again, you're really able to impact and make some changes. So everything's situational, but at the end of the day, learn your objections, do a little bit of homework, know you can solve some challenges from a micro level and then a macro level, meaning department wise, and then macro level would be from a financial standpoint, whatever those departments are doing is ripple affecting into the entire organization on a negative standpoint. And then, back to objections. Learn how to handle objections. You just need to. Objections are a good thing. Most meetings I land that give me objections and I can rebuttal. And when I say think about rebuttal meaning more or less like it's not like you're battling with them. some people might take it like that, but it's most leaders that are confident and are really looking to at least have a business conversation. They're open to understanding why you think you should meet with them. So anyways, I'm going to be taking more of these. My rant's over, but again, objections, welcome them, repeat them back, answer them concise, logically, and then isolate it and solidify and close the meeting. Later, guys.